All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HF Viking baseball live stream. I'm Dylan Barnes. I'm going to be doing this game and all games throughout the season. And today the Vikings are going to be taking on the K's of Kankakee. The Vikings looking to move to 5-1 on the year, and the K's looking to move to 2-1. On the bump for the Vikings for the third time this year is right-hander number 3, David Anderson. He has 2 wins on the year, and his last outing, he went 3 innings, allowed no runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits, and only 1 walk against Oswego East. He will be joined yet again by his battery mate number 10, Preston Lund. And around the infield, Nico Bilgi is at third base, Rob Tate is at short, Corey Mulling is at second base, Demir Heidelberg is at first base. So the same infield that we have seen for the majority of the Vikings games. And in the outfield, Isaiah White is the left fielder, Jason Ballard is the center fielder, and Josh Moore is the right fielder. So we're going to get this game underway soon and hoping for another Vikings win. All right, leading things off for the K's, it's going to be the starting pitcher, number 5, Jaden Harris, as Anderson starts him with a fastball low. And a correction to the Vikings lineup. The third baseman is not Nico Bilgi. It is, in fact, Jacob Gunn, as the 1-0 from Anderson is swung and missed on. Count is even 1-1. Wind is blowing in today, as there's ball 2 from Anderson. The wind blowing in today, as opposed to in games past where it's been blowing directly out. A good day to be a pitcher, not the best day to be a hitter. The 2-1 from Anderson. Upstairs, ball 3. The K's are coming off of a 15-0 loss at the hands of Lincoln Way West. They're actually no hit in that game, as the 3-run from Anderson is skied into the air down the right field line. Mulling going over, Moore, and that ball is going to fall foul. So that's going to bring the count to a full 3-2. But the K's were no hit against Lincoln Way West in their 15-0 loss. But that was coming after a 13-2 win against Grant Park for their first game of the year. So they're 1-1 on the year. Vikings lost to Lincoln Way Central their last time out. They lost 12-2. But that was their first loss of the year. They were on a 4-game win streak before that. The full count pitch from Anderson is upstairs. So a leadoff walk to pitcher Jaden Harris is how this game is going to start off.
Right fielder number 7, TJ Prude.
TJ Prude standing in now for the K's, the right fielder. He went 1 for 2 against Grant Park in that first game, and then was obviously hitless against Lincoln Way West, where they were no hit. The pick off attempt from Anderson as a nice play by Demir Heidelberg, jumping up to corral that throw. Anderson comes set, squares bunt, pulls back. Ball one inside, says the home plate umpire. So now third baseman Jacob Gunn is playing in on the cut of the grass, defending that sacrifice bunt. Anderson comes set. Squaring bunt again is Prude. He's going to pull back, but that's going to be in there for a strike, 1-1. Anderson comes set. Pickoff attempt again. Harris slides back in there safely. Anderson, the 1-1 pitch. Fouled back down the third base line, 1-2. Jacob Gunn makes a nice play there off the netting as it bounced back into fair territory. But that is a foul ball still. But Anderson ahead in the count now, 1-2. A strikeout here would be big, as then one ground ball gets them out of the inning as Harris slides back in there safely at first. Anderson clearly worried about his speed. Harris has 2 stolen bases on the year. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, good block by Lund. Brings the count to 2-2. Strikeout would be big here for the Vikings, as then one ground ball gets them out of the inning. Anderson delivers. Fouled back again. Keeping the count at 2-2. Anderson comes set. Two is in there. Got Prude looking on a breaking ball. A backdoor started off in the right-handed batter's box and comes back in over the outer third. Strikes out Prude looking, and the Vikings have one out. Standing in now is the shortstop Clay Gadbois. Gadbois looks French. But he was 1 for 2 with 2 walks against Grant Park as he takes a curveball high. Anderson is the Vikings strikeout leader with 9, as he's only pitched in 6 innings throughout his 3 starts. But Harris takes off, and that's going to be fouled back. K's potentially trying to do a hit-and-run action there, as we saw the Vikings do against Oswego East. But the count is even now, 1-1. Anderson comes at, picks off towards first. Harris back in there safely. Anderson comes set. The pitch. Curveball in there for strike 2. Anderson very quickly ahead in the count now, 1-2. Will be interesting to see if Harris takes off here on a curveball count, as Anderson knew that, picked off. Harris back in there safely. Anderson has a waste pitch, so he could potentially do a pitch out and see if Harris runs. He does not. And that curveball is going to be inside, evening the count at 2-2. Anderson comes set. The 2-2 pitch to Gadbois. Fastball grounded on the ground to short. Tate to Malling to Heidelberg at first, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. The second one of the Viking season gets them out of this first inning, as David Anderson goes walk, strikeout looking, and then a 6-4-3 double play. So at the end of the top of the first inning, it's the K's 0 and the Vikings coming to bat. It's the Vikings 0 and the K's 0. On the mound for the K's is right-hander Jaden Harris. This is Harris's second outing of the year. He started that game against Grant Park, where the K's won 13-2. He went 1.2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 2 and walked 4. Did not get the win, as he did not go enough innings to qualify for it. But his battery mate is going to be Ty Alderson. Around the infield behind him is Byron Willis at third, Clay Gadbois at short, Nate Weber at second, and Trey Blanchette at first. In the grass behind them is Jaden Harrison in left, Carson King in center, and TJ Prude in right. And leading things off for the Vikings, as he has in the other 5 games, is the left fielder number 13, Isaiah White. White was 0 for 3 with a walk in their game against Lincoln Way Central on Friday.
Leading off for the Vikings, number 13, left fielder, Isaiah White.
White has proved to be a good leadoff man in place of Dylan Head, who was injured. This is, according to Head himself, this is his last game that he is going to be out. He's going to be returning tomorrow against Shepherd. So tune in for that game. But this game is just now getting underway for the Vikings, as Isaiah White fouls back the first pitch from Harris. White looking to start off another game with a hit, as he has in games past, as he takes ball 1 in the dirt. His 4-game hitting streak was snapped against Lincoln Way Central, as he went 0 for 3. But his on-base streak continues, as he walked in that game. The 1-1 pitch from Harris in the dirt yet again. Ball 2. Isaiah White, Rob Tate, and Jason Ballard have been the top 3 in the Vikings order. This is now the 6th consecutive game that they have done so. They've proven to be a formidable top 3, as the Vikings have scored upwards of 10 runs in 4 out of 5 of their games, as Isaiah White takes one over the catcher Alderson's head. That game against Lincoln Way Central was the only game that they haven't scored at least 11 runs. But the count to Isaiah White is 3-1. Looking to get on base in any way possible is White. The 3-1 pitch from Harris. In the dirt, ball 4. So Isaiah White's on-base streak is now 6 games. And that sends Rob Tate to the dish with a runner on base.
Shortstop, number 2, Robert Tate.
Rob Tate's hitting streak is still active. A 5-game streak for the shortstop, as he went 1 for 4 against Lincoln Way Central on Friday. The pitch in there for strike 1. Harris worked quickly that time. Perhaps to throw Isaiah White off, maybe get him a little bit out of his rhythm, as Isaiah White goes, and that ball is going to be grounded down the third base line. Foul. So Rob Tate very quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Vikings perhaps had another hit and run situation on. Harris checking White. The pitch to Tate. In the dirt, good hold by Rob Tate, 1-2. There's a good block by the catcher Alderson there as well, keeping White put at first base. Tate still behind in the count, 1-2. Pickoff attempt. White slides back in there safely. Tate trying to turn it over to Jason Ballard with potentially 2 runners in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch from Harris. Outside, ball 2. Alderson tried to frame that one, but home plate umpire said no. And that evens the count now at 2-2. Harris. Low, 3-2. So Rob Tate trying to follow up Isaiah White's leadoff walk with a walk of his own, as both batters have gone full to a full count to start this game. The pitch from Harris. Fouled back. A good fight there from Rob Tate. Keeps this count at a full 3-2. Harris comes set. Full count pitch. White off with the pitch, and that's going to be ball 4 upstairs. So 2 straight walks for the Vikings have Jason Ballard up with 2 runners on and nobody out.
Center fielder, number 5, Jason Ballard.
Ballard has a 5-game hitting streak of his own as he went 1 for 3 with a walk against the Vikings lost to Lincoln Central. He's batted 3 in every single game so far as well, as Alderson went out there to talk to Harris, perhaps calm him down, as 2 straight walks to start off this game is not exactly what you want to see from your pitcher. As home plate umpire is talking to Ballard, but everything seems to be all right. Ballard stands in. Isaiah White on second, Rob Tate on first, Jason Ballard at the plate. The pitch. Ballard squares the bunt, pulls back, but that's going to be in there for strike 1. Ballard was potentially hoping to turn things over to Preston Lund, the catcher, who's on deck with 2 runners in scoring position, moving up Tate and White 90 feet, and he does so again, but pulls back 1-1. That ball was up around his head. The third baseman, Byron Willis, is not too far in on the grass as Ballard squares again and gets a good bunt down. And Ballard has wheels, and he's going to be safe at first base. So a bunt single for Jason Ballard has the bases loaded for the Vikings and nobody out for the catcher, Preston Lund.
Catcher number 10, Preston Lund.
Lund was 1 for 3 with a double against Lincoln Way Central. One of only 2 extra base hits for the Vikings in that game. The pitch. Curveball in there for strike 1. Vikings threatening to score here. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 0-1 pitch to Lund. Grounded towards the second baseman. He's going to fire to the shortstop. Out at first, out at second, safe at first. So it's going to go fielder's choice in the books. But a run scores for the Vikings, and they take an early 1-0 lead over the K's.
Second baseman number 9, Corey Mulling.
Corey Mulling stands in now for the Vikings with Rob Tate at third base and pinch courtesy runner C.J. Gales at first base. Gales courtesy running for the catcher, Lund, as Mulling takes a curveball way up there, perhaps slipped out of Harris's hand. Mulling was 0 for 3 in that Friday game against Lincoln Way Central. The pitch. High, says a home plate umpire, 2-0. That looked good from up here, but apparently not. Brings the count to 2-0. As Gales runs on the before the pitch is even thrown, and he's going to be out, but the Vikings get another one as Rob Tate advances to score from third. So the Vikings trade a run for an out as Gales attempted to go early, time up Harris, but is picked off, but Rob Tate scores from third. But Malling is still up with a 2 count on him. Grounded towards the third baseman. Shortstop Gadbois. Gadbois to his left. Makes a very nice play to get Malling to end the first inning. So, at the end of the first inning, it's the Vikings 2 and the K's nothing. Leading things off for the K's here in this top of the second inning is going to be the first baseman, Trey Blanchette, as he starts things off with a foul down the first base line. An interesting stat I found about David Anderson while doing some research for this game is that every single ball in play, except for one, has been a ground ball. So that's good for the Vikings, as ground balls are usually outs, as Blanchette takes ball 1 upstairs. But yeah, he has a 67% ground ball rate and then a 31% K rate. So a total of 98%, as Blanchette grounds one towards Corey Malling. Malling has some trouble coming up with it, and he's going to be safe. So Blanchette is going to be in there at first base on an error by the second baseman, Corey Malling.
Catcher number 11, Ty Alderson.
Another ground ball from Anderson there. But Malling had to go to his knees to make that play, so it would have been a tough play regardless. But he knocked it down, but then couldn't come up with it to throw to first base. Squaring bunt, and over Demir Heidelberg's head. Preston Lund tried to backpick Blanchette at first, and he's going to be safe at second base. Ty Alderson squared bunt, and Blanchette tried to get a head start towards second and was caught in the middle, and Preston Lund threw it over first baseman Demir Heidelberg's head, giving Blanchette a free base. But after all that, the count is 0-1 on the catcher Ty Alderson. Anderson, the 0-1 pitch to Alderson. Swing and a miss. A late and big swing there from Alderson. Handcuffed him until the very last second. But Anderson ahead in the count, 0-2. Looking to put away Alderson on 3 pitches. Alderson calls time. Anderson comes set. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, good block by Lund. That brings the count to 1-2. Lund going out to talk things over with Anderson. Perhaps Blanchette at second base has the signs, maybe relaying them to Alderson. You can never be too sure. Alderson with a 1-2 count on him. The pitch from Anderson. Fouled back. Just barely got a piece of that curveball. Keeps the count at 1-2. Anderson comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit in the air to left field. Wind is knocking that down for Isaiah White. Should be no trouble. That's going to be caught by Isaiah White. Blanchette will not tag. So that's going to be the first out of the inning for the Vikings. A high fly ball into left field, but Isaiah White was under it to make the play.
Designated hitter number 23, Lucas Herbert.
The DH, Lucas Herbert, is up now. He's not DHing for the starting pitcher, Jaden Harris. He's actually DHing for the third baseman, Byron Willis. You don't see that too often. And he waves awkwardly at that fastball by Anderson, starting his at-bat 0-1. Anderson comes set. Just Lowe's is a home plate umpire. Count is 1-1. Anderson trying to keep that scoreless streak intact. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another one by Herbert. So Anderson ahead in the count, 1-2. Looking to punch out Herbert on strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball just barely inside. Evens the count at 2-2. That fastball just barely missed. 2-2 pitch. Anderson strikes out. Herbert looking. So Anderson has 2 backwards Ks to start this game for the Vikings.
Left fielder number 1 is Jaden Harrison.
Now the left fielder, Jaden Harrison, standing in. He will have a runner on second base with 2 outs for the Ks. Trying to knock Blanchette in from second. So now Harrison stands in. Anderson comes set. The pitch. Squares bunt. Bunted right back to Anderson. Anderson delivers to Demir Heidelberg at first base. So Harrison bunts to David Anderson for the 3rd out of the inning. And that's going to do it for the Ks. At the end of the top of the 2nd, it's the Ks 0 and the Vikings 2. Demir Heidelberg starts things off for the Vikings here in the bottom of the second inning. Heidelberg has arguably been the Vikings' hottest hitter, as he went 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI against Lincoln Way Central, and that actually lowered his batting average. He had been batting .667, and a 1 for 3 game lowered it to only .625. If you go 1 for 3 every day in the major leagues, you're a pretty good hitter. But Demir Heidelberg takes ball 1 outside from Harris. Just shows how hot this Vikings offense has been outside of that one game against Lincoln Way Central. But Harris, behind the count 1-0. Heidelberg takes strike 1 on the outer third. Heidelberg only has 1 strikeout on the year, and it came against Lincoln Way Central. The 1-1 pitch from Harris. Same exact spot, 1 and 2. So 2 painted fastballs on the outer third have Demir Heidelberg down 1 and 2. Heidelberg looking to start things off for the Vikings with another runner on base, as they did in the bottom of the first inning. But he's behind in the count 1 and 2 as Harris steps off. Heidelberg staying in the box, staying ready, showing that he's not scared of Harris. The 1-2 pitch to Heidelberg. Fastball inside, did not hit him, says a home plate umpire, but that's going to even the count at 2 and 2. Count is even 2 and 2. Pitch to Heidelberg. Grounded foul down the third base line. Good fight there from Heidelberg. Spoiled a good curveball from Harris. So we'll do it again. 2-2 pitch to Heidelberg. Fastball in there, and he knew it. Heidelberg goes down looking, and now the DH Caden Wesley stands in.
Designated hitter number 11, Caden Wesley.
So that jinx I just did of Heidelberg saying that he only had 1 strikeout on the year, that's actually the second time that has happened this year. The first time I did it, where I mentioned that he had 0 strikeouts against Lincoln Way Central, he then struck out in that at-bat as Caden Wesley takes ball 1. So I'm just going to stop talking about Demir Heidelberg striking out, because apparently whenever I do it, he does it. So Caden Wesley, ahead in the count 1-0. Wesley was 1 for 1 with a big pinch hit RBI double to bring the game to a 1-run game against Lincoln Way Central. That didn't last long, however, as Wesley takes strike 1. Wesley was pinch hit for Nico Bilgi and then was promptly subbed out of the game at second base. But that brought the game to, at the time, a 3-2 game in the bottom of the third, but then a 7-run top of the fourth blew things open as Wesley takes ball 2. That 7-run fourth inning was all the Knights needed as they defeated the Vikings 12-2. Vikes looking to get back in the win column here, but the 2-1 pitch to Wesley. Swing and a miss. Wesley was looking to do more of the same that he did against Lincoln Way Central. That evens the count at 2 and 2. The 2-2 pitch from Harris. Curveball. Wesley sends one into the left center field gap. Left fielder Harrison and King over. King, the center fielder, takes it for out number 2.
Third baseman number 12, Jacob Gunn.
Jacob Gunn standing in for the Vikings. Gunn was a late addition to the Vikings lineup as Nico Bilgi was a late scratch. Bilgi was traveling and didn't make it in time. His gun fouls the first pitch back. Josh Moore waits on deck. Moore has been hot to start this year, but Jacob Gunn has to get it to him first as he takes ball one outside, evening the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Harris. Curveball, backed up Jacob Gunn off the plate. That one perhaps slipped or didn't release right. But either way, it was a ball. 2-1 on Jacob Gunn. The 2-1 pitch to Gunn. In the dirt, ball 3. Gunn looking to turn things over to Josh Moore and extend this inning to him. And then Moore can extend the inning possibly to the leadoff man, Isaiah White. Turn the lineup card over. But it all starts with Jacob Gunn as he is up ahead in the count 3-1, and now he has walked. A 2-out walk for Jacob Gunn sends Josh Moore to the plate with a runner on first base and 2 outs.
Right fielder, number 6, Josh Moore.
Moore did not play last game due to illness, but in the last game against Oswego East, he was hit by a pitch twice and ended up scoring both times. As he squares the bunt, pulls back, and Gunn is going to be safe at second base. The catcher, Alderson, tried to backpick him, and he just took off running for 2. So that's going to go down as a stolen base for Jacob Gunn. And Josh Moore is ahead in the count, 1-0. So now Gunn in scoring position for Moore. A ball into the outfield will likely score him, as Gunn is going to be going on contact with 2 outs. Moore takes strike 1. Harris has had good command over that outer third as he evens the count at 1-1. Moore sends one down the right field line. Fair ball. So the Vikings are going to add another run on as Josh Moore doubles down the right field line, scoring Jacob Gunn from second. And that's going to turn things over to the top of the lineup in Isaiah White.
Left fielder, number 13, Isaiah White.
White walked and came around to score in his first at-bat to start things off for the Vikings. He's looking to plate Josh Moore from second base. The 0-0 pitch. Curveball. High, says a home plate umpire. Hasn't been a tall zone as most high strikes are not given. But it has worked to the Vikings' advantage as they have a 3-0 lead over the K's. The 1-0 pitch to White. Hit into the air in right field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. Moore is going to be waved around third, and he is going to be safe at home. An RBI single by Isaiah White has the Vikings up 4-0. He advanced to second base on the throw home, as TJ Prude, the right fielder, could not come up with that ball fast enough to get Josh Moore at the plate.
Shortstop, number 2, Robert Tate.
Rob Tate now standing in. Tate did the exact same thing as Isaiah White did in the first inning. He walked and scored. Tate looking to, again, do exactly what Isaiah White did with potentially another run-scoring single. As he takes ball 1 outside. Harris comes set. The 1-0 pitch. In there for strike one. The Vikings have done a good job of going opposite field to start this game, as back-to-back hits to right field have scored the Vikings' third and fourth run in this game, as Rob Tate grounds one down the third baseline foul. Brings the count to 1-2. Jason Ballard on deck. He bunted, and that turned into it was originally supposed to be a sacrifice bunt, but it turned into a single after his wheels got him to first base. But Rob Tate behind the count 1-2 as he punches one down the first base line, and that's going to be a foul ball. A good protection swing there by the shortstop, Rob Tate. Keeps him alive, 1-2. Just sort of stuck the bat out there and hoped that it hit it. But luckily it worked, as he is still alive and still has a 1-2 count on him. The pitch to Tate. Swing grounded towards the third baseman. Willis up with it. High throw, and that's going to get out of play, and the Vikings are going to score another one. Byron Willis, the third baseman, cannot come up with it, and he fires too tall for the first baseman, Trey Blanchette, and the Vikings have scored another one. So Isaiah White and Rob Tate switch places,
Number 5,
and the Vikings are up 5.
Ballard.
So that's going to go E5, and we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Rob Tate has proven again and again that he is one of the Vikings' best run producers. Just putting the ball in play, letting the defense make the plays for themselves. And as you can see right there, defense does not always make plays at this level. Putting the pressure on the defense is one of the big things that Coach McCarthy has stressed to this Vikings team. And the Vikings have done a great job of that early in this season, letting the defense work for their outs as opposed to giving them outs. But a quick mound meeting for Harris, as Jason Ballard is going to have Rob Tate on second base with 2 outs. So a 2-out rally for the Vikings have scored them 3. Ballard bunted for a single in his first at-bat, and he does it again, and that ball's going to get away from the catcher Alderson, and Rob Tate's going to move up 90 feet. Ballard saw the third baseman Willis was playing back and potentially thought that he could lay one down like he did in the first inning for another single. The 1-0 pitch from Harris. Ballard squares again, bunts it, foul. That ball had a lot of backspin as it hit the turf and then immediately spun into foul territory. Evens the count 1-1. Ballard looking to plate Rob Tate from third, extending the Vikings' lead to 6. Third baseman Willis is still not playing past maybe the baseline. So it's still not showing Jason Ballard the bunting respect as he swings and misses through strike 2. As now Ballard really can't bunt, as a foul bunt with 2 strikes is an out. But Ballard swinging away on 2 strikes. Swings through a fastball, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning for the Vikings. But a big 2-out rally for the Vikings has them up 5-0 at the end of the 2nd. The K's coming to bat have 0 runs. So it's the Vikings 5 and the K's nothing. Leading things off for the K's here in this top of the third inning is going to be the center fielder, Carson King. He squares the bunt, pulls back, and that's going to be in there for strike one. This is King's first debut of the year. Did not play in the Grant Park game or the Lincoln Way West game. The 1 pitch from Anderson. In there for strike two. So 2 fastballs have proven effective for Anderson as he is ahead in the count 0-2. Anderson looking for his 3rd K of the game. The wind and the pitch. And he gets it on a curveball. David Anderson sends Carson King back to the bench on 3 straight pitches.
Pitcher number 5, Jaden Harris.
Standing in now, the second baseman, Nate Weber, the 9-hitter. He went 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 RBIs against Grant Park. As he squares the bunt again, and that ball's going to be inside. He has to jump out of the way. Almost hit Weber. Some good athletics. Saved him from a hit by pitch. The 1-0 pitch from Anderson. Weber squares again, pulls back again. 2-0 high. 2-0 as that ball was high. Weber isn't exactly the tallest person, as he can use that zone to his advantage. 2-0 pitch from Anderson. Fouled off Weber's foot, and he is in a lot of pain, and he's going to limp, and he's going to go down, but probably going to stay in the game. Fouling one off your foot hurts for the first, 10, 15 seconds, but after you get over it, you kind of just walk it off, and then you end up being fine, but it's never fun. But hopefully he's okay. He seems to be fine. Just a matter of working it out. Umpire's giving him some time. But Weber will stay in the game. Count is 2-1 after that foul ball. 2-1 pitch from Anderson. Weber sends one into the air, and Rob Tate is going to come in on it, that wind knocking it down, and he's going to make the play. The second baseman, Corey Mulling, did not know where that was, so if Rob Tate didn't make that play, then nobody would have. But luckily, he did, so don't even have to worry about that. Jaden Harris, the leadoff man and starting pitcher, steps up to the plate. He walked in his first at-bat. The 0 from Anderson. Swing and a miss by Harris. Harris was erased on a 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning. But he's behind in the count 0-1. Behind the count 0-2 now, as a good curveball from Anderson has him ahead in the count very quickly. Anderson looking for his 4th K of the game here. The pitch from Anderson. Hit in the air to left field. Isaiah White back on it. He's going to be there for out number 3. No, he drops it. An error by Isaiah White extend this K's inning. It just barely hit off his glove and fell out. It's potentially that wind howling out there in left field had something to do with it. But it's going to go E7 in the scorebook, and Jaden Harris stands on second.
Right fielder number 7, T.J. Prude.
So that's the second error of the game for the Vikings. One by Corey Mulling, the second baseman, started the last inning. But luckily the Vikings were able to work out of that. Hopefully they will be able to do more of the same here, as just one out gets the Vikings out of this top of the third inning. T.J. Prude stands in for the K's. He struck out looking his first at-bat. Anderson looking to do more of that as he swings violently over a fastball. Comes up empty. 0-1. Right fielder T.J. Prude looking to drive in starting pitcher Jaden Harris from second base. Anderson trying to prevent that. The 0-1 pitch. fouled off Preston Lund's mask. Lund is going to be okay. Lund is a tank back there. He's had that happen to him many times. Only lost a few brain cells while doing it. I'm kidding. We love Preston Lund here. But Anderson is ahead in the count, 0-2 on TJ Prude as he takes a fastball upstairs, 1-2. Anderson still ahead in the count, 1-2 on TJ Prude. Anderson looking for his 4th strikeout of the game as a emergency swing from Prude fouls one into the K's dugout. Hopefully everybody's okay over there. They seem to be fine. They're clapping, laughing about it. Would have been an entirely different scene if somebody had gotten hit. At least I hope so. But Anderson still ahead in the count, 1-2. Curveball got away from him, 2-2. TJ Prude was victim of that fastball at the letters to get him looking the first time. No, excuse me, the curveball to get him looking the first time. See if Anderson does more of that here. The 2-2. Fastball, awkward swing, grounded to Mulling, the second baseman. He's going to come up with it cleanly and fire to Demir Heidelberg for the 3rd out of the inning. So at the end of the top of the 3rd, it's the K's 0 and the Vikings coming to bat with 5. Preston Lund is going to start things off for the Vikings here in this bottom of the 3rd. He grounded into a fielder's choice, but ended up scoring a run for the Vikings. He was courtesy ran for, and then C.J. Gales was picked off trying to steal second base. As Lund sends one right back up the middle, and that's going to be a leadoff single for the Vikings on the very first pitch of this bottom of the 3rd inning. A good start for the Vikings in this bottom of the 3rd, as that sends Corey Mulling to the dish.
Second baseman, number 9, Corey Mulling.
Mulling grounded out to shortstop his first at-bat. C.J. Gales again is a courtesy runner. Harris steps off as Gales was eager to run his first time on base. looks to be eager to run again as his feet were moving. The pitch from Harris. Mulling takes ball one upstairs. Harris comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Mulling swings and hits one into the air to left field. That's going to be over the left fielder Harrison's head. Gales is going to coast into third base, and he is going to be safe at third base. So Corey Mulling with a double, and the Vikings have 2 runners in scoring position now with nobody out. So a Preston Lund single and a Corey Mulling double have the Vikings threatening to score
First
more
baseman,
in this bottom of the third.
number 31, Demir Heidelberg.
Demir Heidelberg stepping in for the Vikings. Heidelberg struck out looking his first at-bat. Trying to not do that here. Looking to plate Gales and Lund and Mulling from second base as he fouls the first pitch back. Heidelberg has put the ball in play many times for the Vikings, only striking out twice. And with runners in scoring position, that's exactly what you want. The 1-0 pitch, hit on the ground to short. Shortstop coming home with it, and Gales is going to be safe. The shortstop, Gadbois, came home with it, and Gales was too fast, beating out the throw. So that's going to go as a fielder's choice for Heidelberg, as he could have gone to first base to get the out, but he chose to go home, but was unsuccessful. But either way, it's going to be an RBI for Demir Heidelberg.
Designated hitter, number 11, Caden Wesley.
Caden Wesley standing in for the Vikings as Heidelberg takes off for second base after that first pitch strike from Harris. He was not given a throw as Mulling, the runner on third, prevented that. But now the Vikings again have 2 runners in scoring position for the batter, Caden Wesley. The 0-1 pitch. Wesley fouls one down the first base line. So Jaden Harris ahead in the count, 0-2 on Caden Wesley. Wesley looking to extend this Vikings lead to more than 6. Hit in the air to left field. Harrison coming over. King is going to call up for it and make the play. Mulling tagging up, and he's going to be in there safely. Heidelberg going to third, and he is going to be out at third base. But a run does score for the Vikings as Caden Wesley's sacrifice fly plates Corey Mulling from third base. Demir Heidelberg was out attempting to tag from second to third. So Jacob Gunn is going to bat with no runners on and only 1 out.
Third baseman, number 12,
No, excuse me,
Jacob
2 outs.
Gunn.
There are 2 outs as a sac fly and a runner out at third base is 2 outs, not 1. Gunn walked his first at bat. Swings through a fastball for strike number 1. Harris comes set. The 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. Gunn came around to score on that walk, starting the Vikings rally. Ended up scoring 3 in that bottom of the second inning. The 1-1 pitch to Gunn. Foul down the first base line, and that almost went into the Vikings dugout. Just barely went off that netting in front of it. With Jacob Gunn behind in the count now 1-2. The pitch. In the dirt again, evens count at 2-2. Gunn looking to turn things over to Josh Moore, who doubled in his first at-bat. Harris comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Gunn called out on strikes. But the Vikings get 2. And at the end of the 3rd inning, it's the Vikings 7 and the K's nothing. Leading things off for the K's in this top of the 4th inning is the shortstop Clay Gadbois. He grounded into a double play his first time up as he takes strike 1. A good start for Anderson. K's still searching for that first hit here in this top of the 4th inning. The pitch from Anderson. Curveball in there for strike 2. A good pitch from Anderson has him very quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. A pitch by Anderson. Curveball again upstairs this time. Ball 1. Anderson searching for his 4th K of the game right here. 2 have been looking. 1 has been swinging. The pitch from Anderson. Outside, ball 2. So Anderson trying not to lose Gadbois after he had him 0-2. Still even in the count, 2-2. The wind and the pitch. Curveball in the dirt. And that's going to be a full count. David Anderson to Clay Gadbois. The full count pitch. Fastball in the dirt, and Gadbois does not take the bat off his shoulder and is rewarded with a full count walk.
First baseman number 3, Trey Blanchett.
Trey Blanchett standing in now for the K's. He reached on an error by the second baseman Mulling his first time up. Another ground ball here would be nice, however, as the Vikings can easily get 2 outs. As Anderson picks off, Gadbois in there safely. The 0 from Anderson. Fouled down the first base line. Anderson has done a good job of pitching with runners on, as he has in every inning, but no runners have came around to score, as Gadbois in there safely again. The pitch from Anderson in there for strike 2, excuse me. So Anderson starts Trey Blanchett the same way he has Clay Gadbois. Hopefully not ending like Clay Gadbois, as Anderson picks off towards first. Gadbois safe again. David Anderson trying to finish off Trey Blanchette for his 4th strikeout of the game, as Blanchette just barely gets a piece of that one, keeping him alive at 0-2. The catcher Ty Alderson waits on deck. He hit a ball about 400 feet in the air. Thankfully, it was
Leading off the top of the
sorry
fifth
about that,
inning,
folks. We had some technical difficulties. The Wi-Fi in the press box went out, but the bottom of the 4th inning was uneventful for the Vikings. They strung some 2-out walks together, but no runs came around to score. Pitching now for the Vikings in this top of the 5th inning is the left-hander Evan Nieder. Nieder is going to start things off with an out of the center fielder Carson King, who tried to lay down a bunt unsuccessfully for the K's. So a good start to the top of the 5th inning for Nieder.
That was a really good call, though.
number 9, Nate Weber.
Now standing in for the K's is the second baseman Nate Weber. Weber popped to short his only time to the plate. He squares bunt again, and he takes strike 1. So the K's have done a lot of bunting today. As Jaden Harrison bunted unsuccessfully in the 2nd inning, and Carson King bunted unsuccessfully in the 5th, as Weber takes ball 1 upstairs. But the count is even now, 1-1. Strike 2. Nieder ahead in the count now, 1-2. The pitch from Nieder. Swing and a miss from Weber. And that is going to be the 2nd out of the top of the 5th inning for the Vikings. Nieder working quickly, as he has thrown 5 pitches and only has 2 outs. Top of the order now is Jaden Harris.
Number 5, Jaden Harris.
Harris walked and reached on an error by the left fielder Isaiah White. The pitch from Nieder. Swing and a miss by Harris. That sinking fastball from Nieder got Harris to swing over the top of that one. Nieder ahead in the count, 0-1. Evens the count at 1-1, as that fastball just barely inside, says the home plate umpire. Count is even now, 1-1. That fastball inside again, 2-1. Nieder has had some command issues in games past, but he's looking to work past that. Get a quick top of the 5th inning for the Vikings. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit a mile in the air as center fielder Jason Ballard ranging to his left. He's going to be under it for out number 3. So a quick and efficient 9-pitch top of the 5th inning for left-hander Evan Nieder. And that's going to bring the Vikings up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning with a 5-run lead over the Kankakee K's. Leading things off here for the Vikings in the bottom of the fifth inning is the second baseman, Corey Mulling. Mulling hit a line shot over the left fielder, Jaden Harrison's head in the bottom of the third inning. That plated C.J. Gales, who was running for Preston Lund. But Mulling looking to do more of that here in the bottom of the fifth. I have a new pitcher in the game for the K's. It's the third baseman, Byron Willis, as Willis's first pitch is up over Mulling's head. Replacing Willis at third base is the former DH, Lucas Herbert, as Mulling takes ball 2 outside, says a home plate umpire. Mulling ahead in the count 2-0. The wind and the pitch from Willis. Mulling sends one into the left field corner, and that ball is going to be down. Mulling is going to have another double for the Vikings. That ball was smoked into the left field corner, and Harrison had no chance on that one, as he was playing pretty shallow due to the wind that isn't existent anymore, as the wind has died down. But that ball was hit on a line into the left field corner.
Demir Heidelberg.
So the second double of the game for Corey Mulling, as the Vikings threatening to extend this lead back to 6 or more for Demir Heidelberg. Heidelberg is 0 for this game as he takes ball 1 up around his head again. Heidelberg struck out in the first inning and then grounded into a fielder's choice in his next at-bat. But he has an RBI on the day, looking for another one here. As the second pitch is, again, up around Demir Heidelberg's head. Two pitches at Demir Heidelberg's head, one pitch at Corey Mulling's head for Byron Willis. Mulling rewarded him with a double into the left field corner. See what Heidelberg can do here as he takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Heidelberg still ahead in the count now, 2-1. Looking to plate Mulling from second. The pitch. Swing and a miss from Heidelberg, and he was trying to do more than just plate Mulling. He was trying to plate himself. So the count is now even, 2-2. The DH, Caden Wesley, stands on deck. The pitch from Willis. Heidelberg sends one high into the sky. King and Harrison over. King is going to make the play. And Mulling does not tag. So a sky ball into center field for Demir Heidelberg does not advance anybody. As number 11, the DH, Caden Wesley, is going to step in for the Vikings, looking to plate Mulling from second, just like Demir Heidelberg did.
Designated hitter, number 11, Caden Wesley.
Wesley has hit 2 balls in the air. He flew out to center field and then hit a sac fly again to left field, scoring 1 base. And Corey is going to take third base. He was off with the pitch, and Willis fired that one over his catcher, Alderson's head. But Wesley has an RBI in the day. His sac fly scored Mulling from third base in the bottom of the 4th inning. In the bottom of the 3rd inning. As we're going to have a chat with the base umpire. Maybe working on some rules coming set. Who knows? But no warnings were given, nothing like that. But count is 1-0 on Caden Wesley. The 1-0 pitch is blocked by Alderson, as that one was a 5-footer. The plate is 60 feet, so you can do the math. Wesley ahead in the count, 2-0. Any ball not right at somebody will score him. Will score Mulling from third, as that ball was up around Wesley's head again. So each of the three batters the Vikings have sent to the plate in this bottom of the fifth has had a ball at them. Luckily, no hit by pitches yet. But the 3-0 pitch to Wesley. That's going to be ball 4. That sends the third baseman Jacob Gunn to the plate with runners on the corners and 1 out.
Third baseman, number 12, Jacob Gunn.
Gunn is 0 for 1 on the day. He walked in his first at-bat and then struck out in his second. Kane Wesley is going to be pinch ran for by, I believe that is C.J. Gales again, over on first base. As Gales takes off. No, that is not C.J. Gales. That is Luke Griggs, as Griggs takes second standing up. But the pitch to Gunn was inside for ball 1. So now the Vikings have 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out, as any single into the outfield is likely going to score 2, as Griggs has wheels on second base, as you just saw, taking second base without even having to slide. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Good block by Alderson. That brings the count to 2-0. Gunn came around to score on that second inning walk. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. The right fielder Josh Moore is waiting on deck. Moore did double down the right field line in the second inning. That scored Gunn from second base. But the 3-0 pitch to Jacob Gunn.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man.
In the dirt, ball 4. So 2 straight walks from Byron Willis has the Vikings with a runner on every base, and the number 9 hitter Josh Moore stepping to the plate. So there's going to be a meeting on the mound. Head coach just looking to calm him down. Got some nerves a bit. So we'll step out, and we'll be right back with more Vikings baseball. Quick visit from the head coach. Wasn't going to be too long anyway. The home plate umpire was on his way to break it up anyway.
Right fielder, number 6, Josh Moore.
There's a Viking on every base for the right fielder Josh Moore. Moore is looking to plate all of them as he takes ball 1 high and in. Willis has been loving that high and in spot. None of them have been strikes, however. Behind in the count 1-0 to Moore. Moore takes ball 2 in the dirt, gets behind Alderson, but Mulling does not risk trying to move up 90 feet and score. Moore ahead in the count 2-0. 2 straight walks from Caden Wesley and Jacob Gunn have led to this point. Moore looking to be the third, or potentially driving them all in, as he takes one off the back. You knew it was coming, as Willis had come inside to other Vikings hitters, and he finally hits Josh Moore, plating Corey Mulling from third, and the Vikings extend their lead to 6. And the head coach is coming out yet again to talk to Willis, perhaps giving him more words of advice, as that looks like it's going to be it for Willis, and I believe it's the second baseman Nate Weber who's going to get the ball for the K's. So after a run scoring hit by pitch, Byron Willis is replaced on the mound by Nate Weber. We'll step out and be back with more Vikings baseball. Isaiah White
Left fielder
is going to
number
bat
13,
with the bases loaded.
Isaiah White.
The top of the order is up for the Vikings, as Isaiah White is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled to right field, scoring 1, and then walked in his first at-bat. But the pitch from Weber is in there for strike 1. Vikings threatening to add to their already 6-run lead. Isaiah White does represent the go-ahead run, the winning run, as he grounds one towards the shortstop. Gadbois, as he only has one play towards second base. But the Vikings score another one as they extend their lead to 7 now. So a run-scoring fielder's choice from Isaiah White extends the Vikings' lead from 8-2 to 9-2.
Shortstop number 2, Robert Tate.
No. 2 outs for the Vikings as Isaiah White takes off towards second base. Alderson pump faked, tried to get Gunn off third base. Did not work. Chased him back towards third. Rob Tate is now up for the Vikings with a 1-0 count on him. Tate has walked twice and reached on an error by the shortstop, Gadbois. Tate takes ball 2 inside. Bennett Reich is waiting on deck in place of center fielder Jason Ballard. He was batted for by Elijah Rainey last time up, but then Ballard re-entered as Tate takes strike 1. Two-one pitch to Rob Tate. Tate sends one down the left field line. That's going to land in there for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score for the Vikings, and Rob Tate's going to try and push it to second. No, he's not. He's going to turn around and slide back in there safely to first. But another 2 runs come around to score for the Vikings, and the lead is now 9.
Number 19, Bennett Reich.
Standing in now for the Vikings, getting his first appearance of the season, is number 19, Bennett Reich. Rob Tate is the winning run for the Vikings, as they can win by the run rule. 10 runs after 5 innings. So Bennett Reich trying to drive Tate in from first base. Reich sends one into the left field, and that's going to get down and almost by the left fielder Harrison, but that ball was roped to left field. And that's going to be another single for the Vikings, going station to station. And in steps the catcher, Preston Lund.
Catcher number 10, Preston Lund.
Lund struck out his last at-bat, but singled in the one before that. He's 1 for 2 on the day, as he grounded into a fielder's choice. Has come around to score on that single. Looking to plate Tate from second base. Swings and sends one into the air to left field, and that ball gets down. And Rob Tate comes around to score, and that's going to do it for the Vikings. So an RBI double by Preston Lund ends the game for the Vikings.
That's it, baby.
And this game is over. So the Vikings get back in the win column with a 12-2 win over the Kankakee K's. They moved to 5-1 on the year. The K's moved to 1-2. The Vikings are in action tomorrow against Shepherd High School, 4:30 p.m. at home. We will be broadcasting that game live, as we will all games throughout the season. You can follow our Instagram, where we will be posting final score graphics, lineup cards, other cool graphics like that. It is HF Viking Baseball. You can also follow our Twitter. Our Twitter is HFHS_baseball. Those are our 2 main hubs of social media. But the Vikings take this one by a score of 12-2 over the Kankakee K's. So for everybody here at HF Viking Baseball, I'm Dylan Barnes. Good night, everybody.